The U.S. and Israel have launched a joint attack on Iran with President Donald Trump, declaring major combat operations are under, in particular my administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon and we can't take it anymore. The blood of his heart. America just sent Iran's missile program to hell. 4 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers flew non-stop from the United States to Iran, dropping dozens of 2,000 lay bombs on underground ballistic missile sites. Iran built these facilities deep, underground, thinking depth equals safety. Reinforced bunkers, hardened tunnels, command centers buried where American bombs supposedly could not reach. And then B-2s flying 30-hour missions from Missouri punched through all of it. 4 bombers confirmed returning home via the Strait of Gibraltar, speaking with air traffic control after obliterating Iranian targets. This was not reconnaissance. This was annihilation. This represents the largest bunker-busting operation in military history, and Iran's underground missile infrastructure just became their tomb. Before we reveal what weapons the B-2s carried and why 2,000 bunker busters were chosen, which underground missile sites were hit, and why missile production now matters more than nuclear targets, how they flew 30 hours undetected with KC-46 support from Lajes Air Base, how this differs from Operation Midnight Hammer, and whether Iran's missile program is permanently crippled. Subscribe to Daily Military Talks. Every bunker, every missile site, every detonation. Share this immediately. Because when stealth bombers fly round-trip missions from the United States to obliterate underground bases, this is not a raid. This is obliteration. Here is what 4 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers accomplished, and why this mission represents capabilities no other military on Earth possesses. 4 B-2A Spirit bombers flew non-stop from the United States to Iran to attack targets belonging to the regime. 4 bombers round-trip from continental United States. No forward staging, no warning. An unnamed U.S. official confirmed to Fox News that 4 B-2s dropped dozens of 2,000 B bombs on underground ballistic missile sites in Iran. Dozens of bombs, each weighing 2,000 B, are all targeting facilities Iran built specifically to survive American airstrikes. The 4 aircraft part of the Pro-41 flight were flying over the Strait of Gibraltar on their way back to Whiteman AFB, mission complete. Bombers already heading home while Iranian missile sites still burned. Underground. Think about what weapons were used, and why 2,000 bunker busters are the perfect tool for destroying underground missile facilities. The use of the B-2 for the strikes in Iran doesn't necessarily mean that the GBU-57 massive ordnance penetrator was needed. The bomber can transport a payload of over 40,000 B, which could include either up to 80,500 Liber, GBU-38 Joint Direct Attack munitions, C-1 and BLU GBU-3 on JDAM, or 16 AGM-158 Joint Air-to-Surface Standoff missiles. Each B-2 carried dozens of 2,000 B bombs, not the massive 30,000 B penetrators used. In June 2025, the mention of underground sites would point to the use of the GBU-31 V3B JDAM, which is based on the 2,000 B BLU 109B bunker buster. The BLU 1009 hardened steel casing designed specifically to penetrate reinforced concrete and detonate inside bunkers, perfect for destroying missile production facilities that do not require the extreme depth penetration of nuclear sites. Now look at the mission profile and why flying 30-hour round-trip missions from the United States proves American strategic reach is unmatched. The 4 aircraft were flying over the Strait of Gibraltar similarly to previous missions such as last year's Operation Midnight Hammer. Same route, same operational security, same outcome. Iran never saw them coming. Their flight was supported by a number of KC-46 tankers, of which one confirmed that the Pro-41 flight included 4 aircraft. Multiple aerial refuelings, KC-46 Pegasus tankers meeting B-2s over the Atlantic, over the Mediterranean, keeping bombers airborne for 30 consecutive hours. It is worth noting that the Pro call sign is often associated with tankers. The KC-46s are said to have used the RCH or Reach call sign for this mission. Deception even in radio communications, using tanker call signs for the bombers making anyone listening think they were tracking refueling aircraft instead of attack bombers loaded with bunker busters. Here is what the tanker support operation looked like and why staging from the Azores was essential to mission success. 5 KC-46 Pegasus tankers departed Lajes Air Base in the Azores, with one possibly being a spare. 5 tankers minimum confirmed. Tankers captured in a video showing a 30 seconds minimum interval takeoff from Lajes Air Base. METO minimum interval takeoff. 5 massive tankers launching 30 seconds apart. Maximum operational efficiency. This would be another aspect which reflects previous round trips from Whiteman Air Force Base, Missouri and back. Tankers are often staged at Logis or Naval Air Station Roa, Spain, from where they are launched to meet the bombers during their crossing of the Atlantic Ocean. Logis, Roa, forward stage. Tankers positioned to intercept B-2s over the Atlantic, refuel them mid-flight, send them toward Iran with full fuel tanks. Think about what this strike package targeted and why underground ballistic missile sites matter more than nuclear facilities right now. 4 B-2s dropped dozens of 2,000 Libby bombs on underground ballistic missile sites in Iran. Ballistic missile sites, not enrichment facilities, not reactors. Missile production and storage bunkers. Iran's nuclear program was already crippled in June 2025 when 7 B-2 dropped 14 massive 30,000 Libby penetrators on Fordo and Natanz. This strike targets what Iran planned to use for retaliation: their missiles, their launch infrastructure, their underground production lines. Destroy the missiles in Iran. Cannot threaten American forces, cannot hit Israel, cannot close the Strait of Hormuz. Now look at what happens simultaneously. With these B-2 strikes and why coordinated attacks destroyed Iran's entire strategic infrastructure. U.S. Navy Tomahawk strikes from submarines in the Arabian Sea destroyed the Karg Island crude export terminal. Iran's largest, handling 1.8 million barrels per day, in the Bandar Abbas naval base's underground fuel bunkers. Karg Island obliterated, 1.8 million barrels per day gone. High-resolution post-strike imagery shows the entire export complex engulfed in multiple, uncontrolled fires with thick black smoke plumes visible from space. Fires visible from space. Karg Island burning. This infrastructure degradation creates an immediate supply shock of 1.8 million barrels per day of Iranian crude from the global market. Iran's economic lifeline severed. No oil exports, no revenue, no funding for missiles or proxies. Here is what happened at Bandar Abbas and why destroying fuel reserves cripples Iran's military capabilities for months. At Bandar Abbas, the underground bunkers suffered catastrophic breaches, with thermal imaging confirming loss of approximately 60% of stored fuel stocks and extensive flooding and connecting tunnels from ruptured lines. 60% of fuel reserves destroyed, tunnels flooded. Ongoing U.S. and Israeli air dominance continues to prevent any meaningful repair mobilization, while sanctions block access to specialized replacement equipment. Iran cannot repair what they cannot access, cannot replace fuel they cannot buy. Their navy sits in port. Aircraft cannot fly sustained operations, all because underground fuel bunkers got breached by submarine-launched Tomahawks. Think about what makes this B-2 mission different from Operation Midnight Hammer in June 2025, and why the change in targeting proves strategic shift. June 2025, 7 B-2s, 30,000 Libby. GBU 57 massive ordnance penetrators targeting Fordo and Natanz nuclear enrichment facilities. Buried 300 FT under mountains. February 2026, 4 B-2s, dozens of 2,000 GBU 31 JDAMs with blue, 100 bunker buster. Warheads targeting underground ballistic missile sites. The nuclear program is already crippled. Cannot enrich uranium when centrifuge halls are collapsed and burning. This strike eliminates Iran's ability to retaliate. Missile sites destroyed. Launch infrastructure obliterated. Iran built these facilities underground specifically to survive airstrikes. America just proved depth does not equal safety when B-2s carry precision. Bunker busters. Now look at what U.S. Central Command revealed about other weapons used in Operation Epic Fury and why this represents the most advanced strike package ever assembled. Images and videos released by CENTCOM showed capabilities employed throughout the first day of combat operations, including the U.S. Army's new precision strike missile launched from an M142 high-mobility artillery rocket system, TORSM precision strike missile, first